Our Family Health Month series continues. Today, Dr. Ulene discusses a subject that creates havoc for many families, financial problems.
A subject that affects many of the families out there watching us now, Jane. There are several major causes of family financial problems. It can be the loss of a job or the development of a serious illness in the family. Often it's trying to keep up with the Joneses. Sometimes it's something as simple as a pocket full of plastic.
Yes, I sent you a check.
Bouncy, bouncy. That's naughty, Mrs. Harper.
When Jane Fonda's husband lost his job in the movie Fun with Dick and Jane, paying the bills got real tough. It wasn't long before the creditors started repossessing things. Even the landscapers came for the plants.
My tree!
Excuse me. Not yours, ours. We put this stuff in, and now we're going to tear it out.
Watch it.
If you don't want to lose your shirt, don't put it on the cuff.
This scenario occurs all too often in real life, according to financial counselor David Truel.
The easy availability of credit in our society today. Charge cards, these overdraft checking plans, very easy to live on income plus credit card income. It's very easy in our society to live over your head for months and not even know it.
That's exactly what happened to 36-year-old Barbara Peterson, an unemployed receptionist who woke up one day to find herself $3,000 in debt.
Yes, I used the plastic. It was, I couldn't believe how easy it was. You don't even realize when you sign on the line just what you're really signing for. It just doesn't make sense until you see the bill come at the end of the month.
Barbara sought help at the Consumer Credit Counseling Service, a nonprofit family agency that specializes in debt counseling. She didn't have much to work with, less than $700 a month in welfare payments and child support to cover all the living expenses for her and her 12-year-old daughter.
Have you been able to make some cuts since we talked?
But she's on a strict budget now and is doing her best to find another job.
I need somebody to hire me.
In this situation, some people would have turned to bankruptcy for relief. With encouragement from the counseling service, Barbara is trying to work her way out of it instead.
Here's a person who, with their present income, simply needs those dollars for the living expenses. If the creditors give her the time to get that extra job, she can avoid bankruptcy, and they'll be better off.
That's the position Ken and Sue Casterland of Minneapolis were in 4 years ago when they asked for help at the counseling service.
Everyone that we had charge accounts with, that type of thing, kept calling and, demanding payments.
Before long, it wasn't just bills the Casterlands were worrying about. Everything seemed to be falling apart.
We found out that we were chewing at each other constantly, finding fault with each other more. In other words, you might say that our home life was almost a shambles.
The Casterlands had 12 creditors, with debts ranging from $300 to $1,200 each. Labeled as deadbeats, Ken and Sue decided they had to do something to clear their name and their credit rating.
We had made the bills. It was up to us to pay them off. And I definitely wanted to pay the bills off.
They entered a long-term repayment program that allowed them to reduce their monthly payments, and they scaled down their living standard to match their income. 4 years later, the Casterlands are better off, and so are their creditors. The debts are all paid off, and Ken and Sue have managed to buy their first home. Now they are the ones who can give some financial advice.
You have to learn your limitations. You have to learn when to quit. It's almost like being an alcoholic, really, because you have to learn when to stop. And if you don't know when to stop, it's going to hurt you in the long run.
If you find yourself in debt and unable to figure a way out, get help from an agency like the one shown in our report. Don't let shame or embarrassment keep you from asking for help until it's too late to do anything about your problem. A word of caution: beware of loan sharks who tell you that they'll solve your problem by wrapping all of your debts into one big loan with lower payments. Some of those folks will stick you with exorbitant interest rates that you'll be paying for the rest of your life. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about family therapy. Any family that cannot solve its problems alone should know about this important source of help. Jane?
Here I am asking you financial advice, Doctor, but what is the most important thing a family can do to keep expenses down?
Make a budget. Make a budget. I can't say that enough times. If a family would take the time to sit down and make a budget that fits within their income and then stick to it, there's no better discipline.
Yes, well, that's good advice from the doctor. Thank you. Here's Nancy Foreman.